Hey guys, it's Dana and it's time to talk about money. And in this video, I wanted to talk about why you should not stop investing when you are paying off debt. So let's get to it. Okay, so first off, real quick, I am not a financial advisor, so you should make sure you do all of your own research before investing any of your own money. Now, when I was getting out of debt, I followed the advice saying that you should pause investing, pause all of your retirement investing when you are trying to get out of debt. So that's what I did. That's what my husband did. And we paused it for many years. And I have talked about this before on my channel. I regret that at this point. Investing is all about time. And so that's why I wanted to talk about if I had invested, like let's say 10 years ago, I had put a lump sum of $10,000 into the S&P 500. Then if I had done that and I had reinvested the dividends, then 10 years later, then I would have $28,000 to $30,000 roughly. I would have 3x'd my money if I had done that. All right. Also, my employer matches. So if I had contributed up to the match, which my employer matches up to 4%, if I had contributed, if I had invested 4%, then they would have matched that 4%. And so by not doing that, I not only missed out on the time of that money being sitting in the market, my own money, but the money that I would have received from my employer to match. So I now suggest to at least be contributing up to the match if your employer does match that percentage. And so let's say I didn't have a lump sum 10 years ago. Let's say I invested or you invested $200 a month for 10 years. So if you were to do that, then by the end of those 10 years, you roughly would have invested about $24,000. And that $24,000 would be worth after 10 years about $35,000 to $40,000. So in my opinion, when you're paying off debt, a lot of it is focused like your mindset or psychologically. You're thinking about things that happened in the past. Like you may have embarrassment or shame or regret about things you borrowed money for. You know, you're trying to pay off all this debt for things that you purchased, things that you couldn't afford. And so now you're working your butt off to make as much income as you can, reduce expenses as much as you can, to fully focus on paying off your debt as quickly as you can. But it can take years. And so for years, you're in this grind of trying to do that. And again, like I said, it's like you're focused on things that happened in the past. So when you invest, and the earlier you do it, the better, of course, because then you can take advantage of compound interest. So when you invest, you're thinking about your future, because most people, if you do study, millionaires, people who have become millionaires have done so most overwhelmingly so via their retirement vehicles through work. And one of the reasons is because that's automatic. So before you even get your paycheck, the money is taken out and it is put into your 401k and your employer might match what you're putting in. But mostly people, when they get to retirement age, the bulk of their wealth is sitting there in their 401ks. That's where it's at. And because it was automatic and it was consistent and it was over a prolonged period of time. And so when we're thinking about wealth building in our future, it's so important to continue to invest. And so I don't think it's a great idea to pause it completely. So even if all you can do is $50, or $100 a month, at least psychologically, you're still in the game. Like you're still in the market. You're still building for your future. And so I think that it is crucial to continue, whether it is via your employer and taking advantage of the match, or it's via a taxable investment, account through a broker, and, you're putting money in, and whether you want to do, whatever you want to do, if you're going to pick out single stocks, cryptocurrencies, index funds, I think it's important to be involved in all of those in some capacity and to buy and hold and leave it there and let it sit over many, many years. So that way you can be building your own future. Okay. Because debt is the past and we want it to be our past, and our future is whatever that number is to you, millionaire status or whatever your freedom number is, which I suggest having a number, some kind of number you're working towards, that you think you could retire on, or whatever it is to reach your dreams. Also to build wealth so that you can donate and give and be as generous as you want to be to whatever causes are important to you. And I would say there's a lot in the news with the stock market crashing or things going on globally or within the United States, and that impact the markets, of course. And it can be a little bit overwhelming and scary, especially when you first, like, say you just start investing and you put money into Nvidia or something, and then it starts, and then you're like, or you bought Bitcoin when it was at its high, and then now it's down, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just put the money and now I've lost. So what we want to do is dollar cost average, which means we just are contributing every month something consistently, and you don't stop. Like if it goes up, that's fine. If it goes down, it's fine. You're just going to continue to hold the course and just continue to invest every month and try not to pay too much attention. So if you are investing in single stocks, of course, this is like going to be, I don't suggest doing that, because then you do have to pay more attention to how the companies are doing. So if you are investing in some kind of retirement vehicle, index funds, where it's a blend, the S&P 500. So you don't have to track and follow the companies as closely or worry about it as much. And, of course, even when the stock market is crashing, like I said, that's like means that's a great time to buy, because everything is less expensive, right? It's on sale, as they say. So I don't think that it's a time to panic at all. And this is why it's best to not pay attention. It's best if you can forget your password even, so you don't even log in. You shouldn't be checking it daily. This is something that if you can automate it, Automatic Millionaire is the thing. So you want to automate things so that way it just kind of every single month or every time you get paid, the money just automatically goes and you are investing and you don't have to think about it. And then let it sit there. You can check it once a year if you want. You can check it every 6 months if you really want. But don't be checking it constantly, because then you're going to freak out if it goes down. But almost always it'll go back up over time, especially over the long haul, because we're not looking here to make money in like a day. I mean, that'd be great, but we're not looking for that. We're looking for over a period of time, over many years, not days, not weeks, not even months. Like we want to put the money in there, let it sit, let it grow, because that's where real wealth building happens. Okay. We do use Robinhood, but you can use whatever broker, whatever you want to do. So I think that not doing it at all is sort of doing a disservice to yourself. And if you're really grinding with paying off your debt, and then thinking about investing, like, say, $10 a month, where you put $1 into like 10 different things, like it's an opportunity for you to be learning something and sort of focusing, like I said, on the future. And then that way, when you have more money to invest, you'll be like more confident in your abilities and you'll sort of understand what it is that you are investing in. So that's why I would say to do it, right? To get in there in some capacity, and don't like discount it just because you're paying off your debt. Okay. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.